Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something fundamental: habits. We're going to pull out a practical four-step plan for making real improvements based on the idea that tiny changes actually lead to huge results over time.
Exactly. We're aiming to build reliable systems, moving past just relying on, willpower, which can be pretty flaky.
Yeah.
And the British cycling story is, well, it's the perfect place to start.
Oh, yeah, that story is wild. Because before 2003, before Dave Brailsford came along, their history was mostly failure.
Right.
Almost a century of just not performing.
Pretty much mediocrity, yeah. They'd won only a single Olympic gold medal since 1908 and never in 110 years won the Tour de France. It was, frankly, not great.
So Brailsford comes in, and he doesn't look for some magic bullet. He has this strategy. What was it called again?
The aggregation of marginal gains. Basically, find a 1% improvement in absolutely everything. Everything.
And when you say everything, you mean everything. Like redesigning bike seats. Okay, that makes sense. But some of the other stuff.
Oh, completely. They went way beyond the obvious. Hired a surgeon to teach proper hand-washing technique to cut down on colds. Rubbed alcohol in the tires for, like, a tiny bit more grip.
Right, just fractional gains.
And the sleep thing was amazing. They figured out the ideal mattress and pillow combo for each rider. And then they took those specific pillows and mattresses with them everywhere they competed.
That is intense. I mean, didn't people think that was overkill, going that granular?
Well, yeah, initially some eyebrows were raised.
Hmm.
But you can't argue with the results, can you? They even painted the inside of the team truck white
Why white?
to spot dust. Tiny specks of dust that could potentially interfere with the bike mechanics. It's all about controlling every possible variable, even the tiny ones.
And it worked. I mean, the turnaround was incredible. 5 years later, Beijing Olympics 2008, what happened?
Domination. They took home something like 60% of the available gold medals in cycling. And then the Tour de France wins started piling up. 5 wins in 6 years.
Wow, so those tiny 1% gains, they really did aggregate.
They absolutely did. It perfectly illustrates the core idea we're exploring. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Improve by just 1% each day, and after a year, you're theoretically 37 times better.
37 times, that's staggering.
It is. And it shows success isn't usually about one giant breakthrough. It's about showing up, making those small improvements consistently. Like the ice cube analogy, right?
Explain that one.
Well, an ice cube in a cold room.
Mm-hmm.
You raise the temperature from 25 degrees to 28 to 31. Nothing looks like it's happening. But hit 32 degrees.
It melts instantly.
Exactly. The big change happens because of all the consistent small increases that came before. That 1 degree shift unlocks the transformation.
Okay, that makes sense for the why, but how do we engineer that consistency? Let's get into the system. The 4 laws, starting with law number 1, make it obvious.
Right. The first hurdle is just noticing. We run on autopilot so much. The more we do something, the less we consciously think about it or even see the cues that trigger it.
Like that story of the retail clerk, the one who automatically cut up a customer's credit card.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was so used to cutting up used gift cards, his brain just went into the usual routine without registering, wait, this is different. That's autopilot in action, the negative side.
But autopilot isn't always bad, right? It can build skills, too.
Absolutely. Think about the paramedic example. She walks into a room, sees her father-in-law, and instantly knows he's having a heart attack.
Just by looking.
Just by looking at sort of subtle patterns and blood flow in his face. She couldn't even explain how she knew consciously at that moment. Years of repetition had trained her brain to see the cue instantly. That's non-conscious skill.
So if the problem for bad habits is not noticing the cues, the solution is to force ourselves to notice. Which brings us to the habits scorecard.
That's one technique, yeah. Simple but powerful. You just list your daily habits, wake up, check phone, brush teeth, whatever.
And then you score them.
Right. Put a plus next to good habits, a minus next to bad ones, and an equals for neutral ones. The key is judging them based on, does this habit cast a vote for the person I want to be or against them?
Ah, so checking your phone first thing. Might feel neutral, but it's probably a vote against being focused.
Precisely. It forces you to be honest about the impact. And there are physical ways to do this too, like that Japanese railway system technique.
Oh, the pointing and calling.
Yeah. Operators literally point at a signal, call out its status, point at the speed gauge, call out the speed. They use their eyes, hands, voice, ears.
Why?
To pull the action out of the automatic non-conscious part of the brain and make it conscious and deliberate. It drastically cuts down on errors because they can't just go through the motions on autopilot.
Okay, so make the cues conscious, make the habit obvious. Got it. What's law number 2?
Make it attractive.
Attractive. Okay,
But,
how does that work? Is it just about the reward?
well, it's actually more about the anticipation of the reward. Dopamine, the neurochemical involved, spikes more when we're craving something when we want it than when we actually get it or like it.
So the wanting is more powerful than the liking.
In terms of driving behavior, yes. Desire fuels action. And modern life is full of things designed to hijack that anticipation system. We talk about supernormal stimuli.
Exaggerated cues, right. Things that push our evolutionary buttons harder than anything in nature.
Exactly. Our ancestors sought out calories, so junk food concentrates sugar and fat way beyond a natural fruit or animal.
Hmm.
Alcohol becomes hard liquor. Social validation becomes endless notifications on social media.
And we see this in animals too, don't we? Like birds preferring fake eggs or exaggerated
Yeah,
features.
the gray-lag goose rolling a volleyball, a giant fake egg into its nest.
Yeah.
Or gulls pecking harder at a cardboard cutout with bigger, brighter red spots than their own mother's beak. We're all susceptible to these exaggerated triggers.
So making a habit attractive isn't just about the end result. It's about making the process itself appealing, or at least overcoming these supernormal temptations.
Right. And one powerful way to make something attractive is through social norms. We are deeply wired to imitate the groups we belong to or want to belong to.
That reminds me of the Asch conformity experiments, the ones with the lines.
Classic example. People were shown lines and asked to match the length, a really obvious task. But when everyone else in the room, who were actors, deliberately gave the wrong answer,
People went along with it.
a huge number did. Nearly 75% conformed to the clearly wrong group answer at least once. It shows the immense pressure we feel to fit in, to do what the many are doing.
So if you want to adopt a habit, surround yourself with people for whom that habit is normal behavior.
It makes it way more attractive, yes. And another angle is reframing how you think about the habit, changing your internal language.
The have to versus get to idea.
Exactly. Saying, I get to go for a run feels like an opportunity, not a chore,
Yeah.
like I have to go for a run. It changes the feeling associated with it.
Like the man in the wheelchair example.
Yeah, he reframed his situation entirely. He wasn't confined to his wheelchair. He said he was liberated by it, because without it, he'd be stuck in bed. That shift in perspective makes the reality, the habit of using the chair, fundamentally more attractive.
That's powerful. Okay, so we've made it obvious, made it attractive. Now, the part where lots of people fall down, actually doing it. Law 3, make it easy.
This one's crucial. Our brains are wired for energy conservation. It's the law of least effort. Given two options, we will almost always drift towards the one that requires less work, less friction.
So making good habits stick means making them the easiest option available.
Pretty much. You have to reduce the friction
Yeah.
and prioritize action over just motion. Don't get stuck planning forever.
Like the photography class experiment. That was fascinating.
It really was. One group graded on quantity, just turn in lots of photos. The other graded on quality but perfect photo,
And the quantity group ended up producing the best photos, right?
by far.
Yeah.
Because they were constantly shooting, experimenting, learning from the stakes they were acting. The quality group spent ages theorizing, planning, trying to get it perfect. They were stuck in motion and didn't practice as much. Repetition makes the difference.
So doing is better than perfecting. And to do more, we need to make it easier.
Reduce the friction. Think about Japanese manufacturing lean production. They obsessed over eliminating wasted steps, wasted motion.
And that had real-world consequences, like their TVs being way more reliable than American ones back in the 70s.
Absolutely. Fewer steps, less complexity meant fewer things could go wrong. It's addition by subtraction. We see it everywhere now. One-click ordering, ride-sharing apps, voice commands, they all succeed by making things incredibly easy.
Even governments use this, like the British tax form example.
Right, they wanted more people to file online. Instead of linking to a page where you could download the form, they linked directly to the form itself, removing that one tiny step, that single click.
Boosted compliance significantly.
Exactly. It shows how sensitive we are to even minor friction.
So how do we apply this personally, priming the environment?
Yeah, that's a great strategy. Like Oswald Knuckles, the IT guy, he calls it being proactively lazy. He sets things up now to make his future self's good actions easier.
Like resetting the room at night?
Yep. Tidying up, laying out workout clothes, even wiping down the toilet while the shower heats up. Small things that remove decisions or effort later.
And the flip side is making bad habits harder. Increase the friction, like Victor Hugo locking away his clothes.
A classic commitment device. He had a deadline for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So he had his assistant take all his clothes, leaving him just a big shawl.
So he literally couldn't go outside and procrastinate.
Exactly. He made writing the easier option by making leaving the house incredibly difficult. Finished the book weeks ahead of schedule.
Brilliant. Okay. Obvious, attractive, easy. That leads us to the final law, Law 4. Make it satisfying.
Right. This tackles the timing problem. Our brains evolved for immediate rewards. Find food, eat now. Find shelter, be safe now. That's an immediate return environment.
But modern life is mostly delayed return, isn't it? Work hard now for a promotion later. Save now for retirement decades away. Exercise now for health down the road.
Exactly. And that's the conflict. Good habits often have an immediate cost, effort, discomfort, and a delayed reward. Bad habits often have an immediate reward, pleasure, comfort, and a delayed cost.
So our immediate return brain struggles with that.
It does. So the trick is to inject some form of immediate satisfaction into the good habits, even a small one.
Like the hand washing project in Karachi.
Perfect example. People knew washing hands was important for health, the delayed reward, but they weren't doing it consistently.
Until they got better soap.
Exactly. Soap that lathered well and smelled nice, that provided an immediate, small, pleasant sensory reward. It felt good right now.
And that little bit of immediate satisfaction was enough.
It was huge. Diarrhea rates dropped over 50%. That immediate positive feeling signaled to the brain, hey, this action was good, remember to do it again.
So we need to find ways to give ourselves immediate positive feedback for good habits. Like the paperclip strategy.
Yeah, Trent Deersmith, the stockbroker, he aimed for 120 sales calls a day, started with 120 paperclips in one jar, moved one clip to an empty jar after each call.
So he saw the progress immediately.
Instantly. He didn't have to wait for a sale.
Oh.
Moving the clip was a small, immediate win, a visual sign of progress. That immediate satisfaction kept him going, made him millions eventually.
And you can do this for avoiding bad habits too, right?
Yeah.
Not doing something satisfying.
Yes. The example, a savings account. Want to buy less coffee. Set up an account named New Gadget Fund or whatever. Every time you skip buying that $5 latte, immediately transfer $5 into that fund.
Ah, so you see the fund growing immediately. The act of not spending becomes instantly rewarding.
Precisely. You're making the avoidance visible and satisfying. But there's a crucial caution with measurement.
Goodhart's law.
Right. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure.
Meaning, don't get so obsessed with the number that you miss the point. Like hitting 10,000 steps but eating junk food all day.
Exactly. The step count becomes the goal, not actual health. The measurement is supposed to guide you to check if the system is working, not become the identity itself. You're aiming to be healthy, not just count steps.
Use the metric to track progress, not as the end-all be-all.
Okay. The focus should remain on casting those votes for the identity you want.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the big picture here? It feels like it's less about the specific goal, lose weight, write a book, whatever, and more about building the system.
That's exactly it. Success isn't really about setting goals. It's about implementing a system of continuous small improvements using these laws. Every habit you perform, good or bad, is like casting a vote for the type of person you become. The system determines the outcome.
Build the right system, and the results take care of themselves.
Pretty much. And, thinking beyond just behavior change, the sources offered a really interesting final thought on satisfaction itself.
Oh, let's hear it.
It framed it as an equation. Satisfaction, liking, wanting.
Liking minus wanting.
Yeah. The idea being, if you're wanting, your craving, your desire for more, always outpaces what you actually have and like. You'll always feel unsatisfied, no matter how much you achieve.
So even if you succeed by external measures, if your desires keep escalating, you never actually feel content.
Right. Which suggests that maybe the ultimate achievement isn't constantly striving and fixing, but reaching a state of observation without craving. Realizing you have enough, that your system works, and you can just exist within it effectively.
Wow, observation without craving, that's definitely something to chew on. So for everyone listening, the challenge maybe is to pick just one small thing today or tomorrow.
Yeah, find one habit you want to build. Can you make it more obvious, more attractive,
Yeah.
a little easier, or add a touch of immediate satisfaction?
Just start casting one small vote for the identity you want to build. That seems like a good place to begin.